You're about to destroy your entire life. You're in trouble. There's nothing that will change that. You're in a heap of trouble. You know what you did. And you know it's bad. Really, really, really bad. What else is over there? Is the hatchet over there?
What you are witnessing is the interrogation of 39-year-old Brad Maine. Days earlier, Brad murdered a babysitter and left their body in the middle of the desert, hoping no one would find it. But when police finally discovered it, even seasoned investigators struggled to comprehend what they saw. That same day, the police would launch a statewide operation to find and capture the killer. But Brad had a plan for evading justice, and what police don't yet realize, he wasn't acting alone.
She pushed him back and hit him again. And hammer, axe type thing. I would, fucking blow towards, like.
And who tells him to take the clothes off?
Heather.
Like, did it ever cross your mind that she might
Be playing me?
No, might be recording you?
It was like a fucking movie. And,
Wants to say goodbye to you.
On the night of July 31st, 2021, the Las Vegas Police Department receives a call from a truck driver who just made a terrifying discovery: a blood-soaked tarp and what looked like a human body inside, right at the bottom of Cathedral Canyon. In a matter of minutes, the police arrive to secure the area and allow emergency services to examine the body safely. However, no one was prepared for the gruesome sight hiding beneath that cover. It's a naked young male, and his body is mutilated beyond recognition. His torso is covered with extensive bruising, along with deep cuts and puncture wounds on his legs consistent with a sharp-edged weapon, possibly a knife or an axe. Or, what's worse, both. Even more alarming are the severe burn marks medics spot on his body. The marks look too precise and defined to be accidental, almost as if they were deliberately inflicted with a blowtorch. But these injuries, no matter how severe, were not the cause of death. Upon examination, officers notice 4 massive gunshot wounds to the victim's back. Minutes later, 4 shotgun shells will be found just below the cliff, a possible spot a shooter used to execute the young man. Taken together, the nature and variety of the injuries point investigators to just one deeply disturbing explanation: the victim was tortured. By any measure, this wasn't an ordinary case for Las Vegas officers, and in the investigation that followed, they'd soon come face to face with the dark reality of how far human cruelty can go. While the young man's body is transported for forensic examination, detectives submit emergency requests to mobile service providers seeking data on devices that had pinged near the crime scene at or around the time of the murder. The next morning, on August the 1st, the victim is identified as 27-year-old Roy Jaggers. A quick background check reveals his parents' house located in downtown Las Vegas. Without wasting a breath, officers question his father. Apparently, Roy lost his job as an electrician some months earlier and had moved in with his parents. From time to time, he would take occasional gigs to help make ends meet while working part-time at a local convenience store. But one little fact in Roy's father's account stands out to the officers. Before disappearing, Roy had visited the house of their neighbors, Heather Pate and Kevin Dent. After that, he never returned, and no one had seen or heard from him since. It was a sign to the police to act quickly. The same day, officers obtained a search warrant for the couple's residence. The next morning, on August the 2nd at 6 a.m., multiple units surround the house and escort the couple outside. But instead of taking them to the station for interrogation, they question them on site. There might be another accomplice, and officers don't want to waste a minute searching for him. They'll start with Kevin Dent, who would soon reveal more than investigators initially expected.
I'm just trying to figure out how you got pulled into him.
Well, I met Heather and I together.
A couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
Looks like.
Yeah. You know, I just met her friends, and we both know who one of her friends is. And it's cool. Cool little dude. I just couldn't, get a read on something.
That's Roy, right?
Correct.
Okay.
So, correct. And I think he would ask her weird questions when I left, like, hey, what's Kevin thinking of me? He's cool. He just seems like a weird little dude, but he's cool. But he just seemed off. Something about him seemed off, and but I don't know, I try not to get too close to people anyway. But
Before going further with the questioning, it's important to clarify who he really is. Kevin is a 36-year-old ex-convict and the boyfriend of Heather Pate. His lengthy criminal record includes harming a child, battery, and resisting a police officer with a firearm. In fact, he had been released from prison just 8 months before the murder. Despite his troubled past, Heather Pate, a mother of 2, had entered into a relationship with him. And, like most couples, on occasion they couldn't watch their children. This is where the victim comes in. Heather would often ask Roy to babysit for them for a quick buck. Due to financial circumstances, Roy never refused. As a precaution, she installed security cameras recording the inside and outside of the house. For all the times they had asked him for help, the couple had never reported a single issue. That is, until August the 30th, which is when the couple noticed something on the footage that didn't look right to them.
Like, there was times when the camera cut off, and then it pops back up and he's walking around in his boxers. And it was just weird. And then the camera went blank again, and all of a sudden, her child was on the couch. And, then obviously bad thoughts start running through your head.
Right, you start making assumptions.
She wanted some answers, some clarification as to why you walk around my house like that.
Mm.
And, I was there, and
According to Heather, the footage allegedly showed Roy walking around the house wearing only boxers, playing adult games near the children, and handling them in ways that would be considered unacceptable. Kevin would later claim that this was the first time anything like this had happened, and they needed answers. The next day, Heather would call Roy and ask him to come over to the house. As soon as he arrived, the couple demanded an explanation for what they described as suspicious behavior. But the way he would approach this would be anything but reasonable.
So, and then, it escalated to, yelling, and I didn't fucking do anything, I didn't touch nobody, blah, blah, and I was like, dude, she's asking questions, you're just starting to get loud and scream and yell, just tell her, you know what I'm saying, just relax. And I got to that point, it's like, I'm getting pissed now, like, it does seem like something happened.
Right.
I can't say if you touch this little kid, but it seems like
Starting
something
to look
happened.
that way.
I mean, whether you're dirty, just standing in front of the door, touching yourself, or did you touch this kid? But I seen what the kid's thing looks like, and
Right.
don't look good, dude. That's what I told him. I was like, that don't look normal, and I've never seen no shit like that before in my life. So, she's pissed, and one thing leads to another. She just keeps getting, more and more enraged, and, she didn't really hit him, but it's more like, lines where a woman gets mad and she hits you once in the shoulder and you kind of tuck away and it's just shoulder shit. And that's pretty much how it started, and he's just like, oh, do love it. And you can kind of hear it in his voice again, like, like, you're not going to do shit to me.
Not getting answers they wanted to hear, the conflict quickly turned violent. For Roy, he never could have imagined just how far this would go.
So walk me through. So you get mad, and then what?
And then, she, I guess, I don't know, gained more confidence because it was next to her, I don't know, so she, she pushed him back and, hit him again, and he got him again, and I hit him, Then him and I started, rolling on the ground. So, him and I just went at it for about, a couple minutes, and I just threw him off, and I threw him over towards, the fireplace, and I threw him towards the fireplace, and I just backed up, and I was pissed. I went in the kitchen, and it was more or less just, he's sitting there, and you're not going anywhere until you tell us, really what happened. This is how she was getting at him. I'm not letting you leave until I want to hear you tell me what the fuck happened to my kid. And
Kevin talks about the altercation. With the victim overpowered, they put him in handcuffs, wrapped him in a tarp, and put him in the back seat of their car. With no clear destination in mind, the couple then drove away, but not before Heather made a single phone call to their close friend, one that would ultimately seal Roy's tragic fate.
Who did she call from the house?
Dude, I want to say Brandon, sorry, because
Brad?
Just said that, but Brad, yes.
And what was that conversation?
I've only met that dude one time, but I don't know. I met him one time, and he just, kind of like Mr. CIA agent type guy. And
So when she calls him, what is that conversation like?
I honestly, bits and pieces, I can't really hear it because it's on the earpiece.
On the earpiece,
and,
okay.
Roy's in the back, and we'll say, hey, raise the water, and he's kind of talking here and there. I'm kind of in autopilot, and so she's talking to him whispered.
Right. So then you get to prom. Then what happens?
Correct. Off the road, somebody fucking wearing.
Do you meet up with him? Do you meet up with someone else?
All right, him.
Okay. And where does he take you?
Yeah, it was like a they follow me thing, I guess.
Right.
Following this guy and fucking went somewhere off road. There's nothing around.
Right. Is Roy walking on his own at that point? Like he got out of the car, or did you have to drag him out, or?
I just opened the door. And son's here too.
You opened the door and what?
Opened the door, yeah, and I just kind of like pulled him out.
Okay.
Pulled him out, and
So you pull him out, and then what happened?
then it's his show from there.
Who's his show?
Brad.
But what did he do?
Enough.
Can you tell me what though?
It was crazy.
Okay.
Investigators have since learned that Roy was taken far from any populated areas to a shooting range in the middle of the desert, a place where no one would hear his screams for help. What Roy didn't realize was the final hours of his life had begun, and Brad wanted to make every minute as painful and terrifying as he possibly could.
So what did Brad do? Just give me some examples.
Scared him, like just like let off a couple shots, and then just like, hey. Now it seemed, like letting him know like it's real now.
So what? I know you don't want to tell me because it's gruesome, but will you tell me what Brad actually did?
Yeah, it was.
What did he do?
It was. Nightstick, like a hammer axe type thing, kind of fucking blowtorch, like touching him here and there with that, just poking him with a knife here and there, like the hits, with this thing, like the hammer, the nightstick, just shit like that. Cut him, burn him. I was like, it was like a fucking movie. And
when Brad's doing all this, what are you doing?
Watching, but not watching.
And what's Heather doing?
That kind of shock. Same.
Just standing there. Did Ryan or Roy ever get up? Or basically he was on the ground the whole time?
Yeah, he's just...
What made him...
apologetic. I'm sorry. Yeah, I did it. After a while, I was like, yeah, I did do it. I touched his dick, I touched his pee-pee, the bathroom, the bedroom. Yeah, I did it. And I'm really sorry.
But he didn't stop.
Huh?
Brad didn't stop, though.
Detectives' worst suspicions had been proved correct. Roy had been beaten, cut, and burned repeatedly before finally giving his attackers the admission they were demanding. Authorities believe he may have confessed simply in hopes that the torture would stop. Unfortunately for Roy, it may have just sealed his fate. With their first goal complete, the victim was put back in the car. The group briefly returned to Brad's house, where he went inside and came back out with an item in his hands. He put it in the trunk before driving away to their final destination, the Cathedral Canyon. By this point, investigators believe Brad had already decided exactly how the end would come for their victim.
He's kicking him around and he's talking to him, and I don't know if he had it or that's what he grabbed at the house. I don't know. Maybe just to switch trucks, but I noticed he's holding like a 12 gauge, 10 gauge, whatever he had, and I was like, what the fuck, man? And he's just kicking him, telling him, getting him closer to the edge, and he's like, strip him. He's in the tarp, so that's right. I'm skipping. Pull him out. He's in the tarp. Get that thing off him. Strip him. So I'm off the hook. I don't gotta do this. I don't gotta do no more of this. I don't. And she's like, don't look at me. I don't have a knife. He's like, here, I got mine. Do it. While he's like, now he gives the knife to her, pulls the gun over his shoulder, and he's like, strip him. Don't fuck my knife up though. Strip him. And she's like doing it, but she's hesitant, and I can see like she's like, I'm scared too now. That's why I'm worried. Like, I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. I can see her look at me like, what the fuck? And she's like, I can't do it. I can't do it. He's like, you do it. I'm like,
At the canyon, Brad gave Roy what appeared to be a chance to run. In reality, it was nothing but a sickening psychological ploy destined to end Roy's life in the most inhumane way possible.
and he's like, do you want to die? Man, no, I don't. That's what I told you. If you cooperate, you cool. Let you live. Let you walk out of here.
So then what happens?
He doesn't jump. He's kicked. He's pushed off. So
And so he goes over the cliff?
yeah. And we hear metal. Like whatever he hit something fucking hard, and he hit metal, and it sounded bad, and like she kind of cringed into me, like, fuck, and I whatever held her, and I heard boom, and I was like, heard the shot, and I kind of like I ran over to the edge, and I was like, what the fuck? And I seen him, and he was running. I could see Roy
was running?
Yeah, and
then what happened?
I looked at this dude, and he's just like, it's fucking target practice at the range. Just he eyed him, like heat you, and just boom, and he dropped him on that, and I turned around, I walked away.
How many times total did he shoot?
I thought 4. She said she heard 5.
The detective notices a consistent pattern in Kevin's testimony. Throughout the questions, Kevin attempts to portray himself and Heather as reluctant participants, claiming they were pressured and intimidated by Brad into assaulting the victim. According to him, they acted out of fear, believing that if they refused, Brad would turn his violence on them instead, using a firearm. What Kevin fails to realize is the investigators were already uncovering multiple pieces of evidence that completely contradict the story he's trying to spin. By the time Kevin is interviewed, officers have seized his home surveillance camera recording system and have watched the confrontation unfold. The video shows Heather and Kevin both repeatedly striking Roy, all while 2 of their kids watched the assault in the background. By the time Roy was placed in the car, he was already bleeding heavily from the head. But this isn't the only disturbing evidence they uncovered. What investigators discover next will add a whole new sinister dimension to the crime. After the interrogation, Heather Pate handed over the device she had been using during the crime, an audio recorder. When investigators played the recording in full, they were left in shock. The voices of 3 individuals could be heard taking turns assaulting Roy, and cutting through his repeated cries of pain is the sound of their laughter and cheering. Worse still, it was planned. Before the torture, officers heard Heather making a phone call. The male on the other side of the line can be heard telling Heather he would come over to show her how it's done. The audio recording ends with several shotgun blasts echoing through the canyon. They had recorded the whole ordeal from the moment Roy entered their home all the way to his terrifying last minutes alive. The evidence leaves little doubt. Roy was subjected to torture by all 3 individuals, not just Brad, despite what Kevin had told the detective. With 2 confirmed suspects in custody, officers now needed to capture the 3rd, the man who pulled the trigger and ended the victim's life. Luckily, by then, police had already begun tracking Brad's phone, and he was driving away from Las Vegas. At around 1 p.m., multiple patrol units followed Brad's car and conducted a controlled traffic stop by boxing the car in and ordering the driver to reveal himself slowly.
Driver, turn off your vehicle! Driver, turn off your vehicle and put the keys on the roof. Step back until I tell you to stop. Slowly. Slowly. Okay, stop. This deputy's going to grab your hands and put you in handcuffs. You're being detained.
The man behind the wheel is Brad Maine. Captain Barushewitz places his hands in cuffs and orders him to sit inside the car. The captain has been investigating this case since the beginning and knows every detail of the suspect's terrifying crime. The abduction, the torture, the cold-blooded murder, and even an attempted cover-up. Brad has yet to realize how much evidence the detectives have on him. He has nowhere to run, and this is what the captain wants him to understand.
Okay, Brad, listen, you're in a heap of shit, and you know it, and you know why you're here, and you know why we're here.
No, I really don't.
Yeah, you really do, I promise. So I'm going to tell you that I'm at 37 hours of no sleep, and I'm not in the mood to mess around. So if you don't want to be honest and be forthcoming, then I don't want to talk to you.
Okay.
Because I already know what you did. I've already done all the electronics to verify what I know, okay? And you can either be honest and try to help yourself, or you can sit here and lie to me, and you know what the end result of that is, okay? There's more to this story, I'm sure, than what we're being told. But the bottom line is, you know what you did. And you know it's bad. Really, really, really bad. And this is your chance to help yourself or to hurt yourself.
You're referring to the situation with a person out of Vegas, I'm assuming.
Yeah. That's exactly what I'm referring to.
So I'm assuming that that has something to do with why she started avoiding my phone calls, and the person you guys found is the person that the last time I knew anything about it, he was still alive.
Well, I don't know. You tell me that part, and I'll tell you what information I have that dispels that. But I'm going to warn you up front that if you think you're going to lie your way through this,
I'm not going to lie.
I'm just telling you, if you think you are, you're going to get yourself in much bigger trouble.
I won't. I'm not going to lie to you guys.
So when was the last time you saw him, and what? And what's the story?
They were going to leave him in the desert to walk home. She had video proof that he and her children, and despite repeated attempts to get her to call the cops, she decided to show up out here, and they beat him up, and the last I saw him, they were taking him out to the California border to make him walk home.
Okay.
That's the last I saw of any of it.
Okay.
Up until that moment, neither Kevin Dent nor Heather Pate had made any mention of Brad contacting the authorities over Roy's behavior or any attempt to resolve the situation legally. In fact, the evidence suggests the opposite, that they had chosen to take the law into their own hands. However, Brad is going to try the only strategy he can come up with in this situation, to shift the blame onto others and try to minimize his role. But this won't work as well as he hopes.
I don't want to go to prison.
Then stop. Forget the bullshit. Forget the story that you came up with, because it's late, okay? It's late. It's too late for that, okay? Your phones are all linked together. The GPS track is crystal clear about where you went. You didn't just watch her walk across the desert. You didn't just go to Cathedral Canyon. You met her, and I'm going from memory. I'm tired. I think it was at Barney and Game Birds where the first GPS where the three of you come together, and then you zigzag her out into the desert, right? And then you go back to your house, and I have a witness who sees you at your house with her vehicle, and then I have a witness who sees you going out there, and then I have a witness who sees you going back out there. So let's cut the bullshit. I know what really happened. Okay, what I'm trying to figure out is how the fuck Brad, the Brad of Prump, got tied into this mess, and trying to help the Brad save his ass, and the Brad is sitting in my seat filling me full of bullshit.
I'm not trying to fill you
Then
full of bullshit.
Then forget the lies.
As far as,
Forget the lies and let's start over. How did this start?
She called me and said that she had proof. And I said, proof of what? And she said, proof that this motherfucker my children. I told her on numerous accounts, call the cops. And she's like, it's too late for that. I said, you need to call the cops, or you need to bring them out here and dump them on the sheriff's department's doorstep and get it far away from
That's not the wording you said, Brad. That's not the wording. Her whole house is on camera.
No, I know that.
That's not the wording you said. It was something
more
more to the effect of, bring him out here, and I don't remember the wording. It could have been, I will help, I'll take care of that, I'll show you how it's done, whatever it is, okay?
I
Something to that effect. I heard it. It's recorded at her house on her surveillance cameras. And then the GPS is crystal clear. And her story and his story, completely consistent. The witness that saw you, completely consistent. The other witness who saw you and them at your house, completely consistent. So if your answer is, man, I'm going to see if you're an idiot, man, I don't have time for this, Brad.
I'm not trying to say
you are.
You're an idiot.
You're trying to save yourself by lying, and you're hanging yourself.
I'm trying to save myself by lying.
Then let's start over and the truth. Because don't give me this bullshit, because I promise you, by the time we've already kicked the door at your house, okay?
Are my cats okay?
I didn't see any cats there.
Brad fails to grasp the gravity of the situation, trying to redirect the interrogation to unrelated personal concerns. However, the detective does not allow this detour, and finally, he gets Brad to share a piece of the shocking truth.
Where's the shotgun that you hid?
I don't have a shotgun. The only shotgun I have is in my safe. I'll give you the combination to open it.
I'm not going to waste my time, man. I'm tired. Like I said, if you want to go down for the whole thing,
I will show you.
You've already lied to me once now about this.
I'm not.
You've already lied. Yes. Yeah, you lied already, Brad. This is not how the Brad goes down. This is stupid. This is the Brad going down for some girl that he's been banging periodically. For what? For what? Is that worth it? So you lost your cool protecting her kid, and you did some stupid fucking shit. Okay? That we can live with. That we can go to the district attorney, and we can say he's not a fucking cold-blooded murderer. That we can work with. He lost his cool. He lost his temper. They brought him out here in the heat of the passion. This happened. But we can't live with lies. We can't live with lies, because when you lie, that means that you're calculated, that you're a criminal.
The only thing that I did was kick the kid in the freaking stomach when he said he enjoyed what he did to her kids.
The hostility in Brad's voice gives the officer an opening to keep putting on pressure, and the detective is ready to reveal another piece of evidence that will catch Brad completely off guard.
So how come I have a witness, a very credible witness, spot-on credible witness, who says they saw the shotgun in your hand? This is what I'm talking about, Brad. You know what? You are not. I thought you were a lot smarter than this. My whole time of knowing you, I thought you were a lot smarter.
Like I said, we can open my safe.
I don't need to open your safe. I don't need to open your safe. I have a perfectly credible witness who watched you with the shotgun. This is the part that I tried to get you to be honest with. And yes, you thought it was dark and no one was there. I get it. But I told you up front not to fucking bullshit me.
I'm telling you, the shotgun is at my house in my safe.
That's the shotgun that you used out there.
My shotgun
No,
is in my
answer
safe.
the question. What shotgun did you use out there? The truth. Not a lie, Brad. Not a fucking lie. The truth. The truth. Where is that shotgun that you used out there?
I'll take you to it.
Okay, can you tell me where it is so I know where I'm going?
It's over at a friend's house.
What else is over there? Is the hatchet over there?
What hatchet?
Whatever axe or hatchet you used to cut his leg?
I didn't do it.
Brad?
Whoa.
Well, who did?
No. I don't know nothing about any of that.
What about the baton?
I don't know nothing about that either.
Okay.
No, I'm serious. I don't. I swear to God, I don't know nothing about that. I don't know nothing about that.
It's important to note that the same trucker who found the body of Roy Jaggers saw the suspects killing the victim in the canyon with a shotgun. Not only that, he had seen them coming back to cover up the body with the tarp and then getting away as quickly as possible. His witness testimony is consistent with the GPS route and phone pings that showed where the suspects had been and when they visited the location. And the more the detective reveals this information, the less room Brad has to maneuver. And the detective does not lose a beat.
Hey, what happened at the gun range? The truth.
Heather and Kevin just beat the shit
And
out
you
of
did
me.
nothing. You stood there.
I told you I kicked them a couple times.
And that's it.
I didn't do anything else.
And that's it.
That's it.
And you'll pass a lie detector test.
Yes, I will.
Bet me money. I don't need to bet you. I don't need to bet you because I know you're lying, Brad.
I'm not lying.
You're not smart.
I'm not lying.
You're not smart. I'm giving you every shot to be successful.
I didn't do anything other than take a few kicks in on them.
What happened out there with the shotgun? Don't say you didn't do nothing because I have an independent eyewitness who watched the entire thing. What happened out there?
They were cutting him loose and he came at us.
And whose knife were they using, Brad? Because I have a witness that told me exactly who handed the knife to who. Whose knife did they use, Brad?
I don't know.
Really? You have no clue whose knife they used to cut him open?
As far as I know, it was one out of her vehicle.
Isn't that convenient? And then they're going to let him loose, and then what did you do? The truth.
Like I said, he started to come at us, and I panicked.
And did what?
I fired around right past him, and he freaking jumped off the freaking cliff into Cathedral.
And then what? Brad? Then what?
I took one more shot at him, and then I freaking ran.
One more shot? No.
I only got him once that I know of.
How many shots did you fire?
2. There was one to scare him, and then 2.
And he jumped off the cliff when you fired that one.
Yes.
And then he's running, or he's walking, or what?
He was running.
And then what?
I panicked, and I took 2 more shots at him, and then I took the last shot out of the shotgun to make sure it was empty before I threw it back in the car.
Why?
Sounds stupid, but it's illegal to transport a gun in a car loaded.
That sounds very dumb.
It is, but...
No, and the question I was asking is, why did you shoot him?
Trying to protect her.
From? He jumped off a cliff naked.
Her mistake. She should have never let it go that far. She should have never beat him. She should have never freaking done anything except call the cops like I asked her to do in the first place.
And so you figured by shooting him and killing him, that was the solution?
No. I figured that he would be wounded and he would learn his lesson not to touch little fuck. And from somebody that's been abused my entire life and somebody who's had my go through the exact same thing.
The detective sees Brad's biggest mistake. He believes his accomplices were smart enough to commit the crime quietly without attracting too much attention. Right at this moment, Brad is about to be hit with a bombshell that will ruin his chances of walking away at once.
I figured he'd have justice.
Let me ask you this, Brad. Do you think that you can trust Heather?
No.
Do you think you could back then?
Yeah.
Like, did it ever cross your mind that she might...
be playing me?
No, might be recording you? Might have audio recording of the entire beating at the gun range and the things you say? This is what I'm talking about, Brad. You don't know what I have, and when I tell you what I have, suddenly you tell me just a little piece of truth. I don't want a little piece of truth.
I don't remember everything from that freaking night. I was
But you know what you will remember? You will remember beating someone, and you're claiming you didn't. And guess what? The audio and the witnesses that were there, their story says something different. And their story and the audio matches what I found on that man's body. So when I start this conversation with, tell the truth and save yourself, I meant that.
Can you loosen the left one just a hair, please? My left wrist is just a little bad. I'm obviously not going to try and do anything stupid.
Obviously, you've been so smart about this. Hey, does somebody have a handcuff key?
At long last, Brad accepts his fate and stops lying. Finally, the detective is about to receive a full confession.
So why don't we reset, and why don't we go back to the beginning, and let's pretend, let's start this from scratch. Okay? She calls you. You meet at Barney and Gamebird. You drive to the Bell Vista range. Then what? The truth, Brad. The truth.
Everybody was having fun taking turns at him.
With?
I got him with a belt that I left out there. Stupidly. As far as the baton goes, the last time I saw it, it was in the back of her truck.
And where did that come from?
It was my old one from when I was a security guard.
Okay. And what about the hatchet axe thing?
I don't remember there being I swear to God, I don't remember there being a hatchet axe there.
Okay, what else do you remember there being? How about your handgun that you always carry on your hip? That you were shooting near his head? In this truck?
Yeah.
Okay.
Same place it always is, in the center console.
Okay. And did you hit him when you were shooting at him?
No.
Well, why were you shooting at him?
Because like I told Heather, I figured the fear of God was more important than killing him.
Okay. So everyone's whooping on him, kicking and beating him with batons and stomping on him.
Kevin frickin' put a rock in his mouth and then curb stomped him. I was like, no, I gotta go. This is too much. We need to drag him out somewhere and leave him for somebody to find him. We're done.
So then what happened?
They wrap him up. They load him in the car, and
they wrap him up because
I didn't touch.
You did not, but I clearly heard the audio that says something to the effect of "wrap him up" from you, and he proceeds to wrap him up.
I straight up said, We wrap him up. We need to go.
And what'd you wrap him? What'd he wrap him in?
He wrapped him in a tarp.
And then what?
And then
We went to your house, right?
The detective doesn't interrupt, but he knows the truth about what took place. The audio recording has revealed that everyone took satisfaction in torturing a man who had never been proven guilty by any lawful authority. Roy had been condemned by a couple who believed they had the right to act as judge, with Brad as the executioner. That was the last thing the detective needs Brad to admit, that he pulled the trigger and fired the 4 fatal shots.
And who takes him out of the car?
I never touched the person.
Well, you kicked him and punched him and
No,
beat him.
you know what I mean.
You never touched him
I
getting
never
out of the
handled him.
vehicle. So he gets him out of the vehicle. Or does she?
He did.
He does.
She
And,
spit on him
okay,
twice,
okay.
and then put a knife to his throat and said, "If you ever try and touch my kid, myself."
Okay. Who tells him to take the clothes off?
Heather.
Why? Heather says take the clothes off.
She wanted him stripped naked.
So she strips him naked. And then what? Did you push him?
I might have. I don't know.
You might have. And then you fired a shot at him. And another shot. And another shot. Right?
Yes.
In the end, Brad agrees to lead the officers to the shotgun. He had hidden it at his parents' house, a place completely removed from the crime itself. His parents had no idea what their son had done. Neither had his wife, who now sits with her hands cuffed behind her back in a police car. It came down to these officers to break the horrifying truth to her, and the last thing she can do now is say goodbye to him.
Let's just say goodbye to you. I'm willing to let you do it as long as it's not going to be a huge fiasco. Do you want to say goodbye to him, or do you want to just go?
Let's say goodbye.
Okay.
You'll need that to get me a bail bonus. And then
No, you can't reach in your pocket.
I know.
It's okay. We've already searched him.
They already know I'm not going to do anything stupid. I've already done enough stupid. Guess I'm going to find out how much my wife loves me. That's all I need, right? Yeah, hold on one second. Come on.
Go ahead and jump in.
Hey! Please don't hate me. Oh, here.
Okay. Go ahead and jump in.
For some reason, Brad assures her that she can bail him out and that he'll be home soon. But the officer is quick to interject.
There's no bail. It's a no bail charge for murder, so he's not going to have any bail. So you don't
I
have to
didn't
worry.
think I didn't know I took melatonin. I went to sleep.
We believe you, otherwise you'd be going with us, okay? You got enough to deal with right now, so.
But this isn't the only heart Brad will break today. Officers immediately drive to his parents' house to recover the shotgun. With the weapon secured, only one task remains. Brad now has to look into the eyes of his mother and tell her about the monstrous crime she knows nothing about.
Hey,
Come here, Mom.
that's my favorite guy.
Yeah, also paying right now. I love you, Mom.
Wait a minute. What do I see? What's that?
Oh, handcuffs.
They're called handcuffs.
Why?
They usually
And those
put 'em
are called
on
cop
behind
cars.
guys.
What?
And the only reason they're in front of me is because these gentlemen know I'm not going to do anything to them.
That is true.
What do you mean, rest of them?
Uh,
Tell me.
The body found at Cathedral Canyon that caused it.
A body was that? Come on.
He's not kidding.
I killed it. Instead of letting the cops handle it.
Oh dear God, that was stupid. Why didn't you just go tell them?
Apparently that's my new MO. That's stupid.
In preparation for the trial of Heather Pate, Kevin Dent, and Brad Maine, The police had launched separate investigations to determine whether the accusations against Roy Jaggers had any factual or evidentiary basis. Detectives reviewed the footage, spoke with the kids, and found no evidence of him acting inappropriately around minors. Roy had been mercilessly tortured and killed for made-up reasons with no credible backing. He was innocent all along. During the trial in May of 2023, Roy's sister was allowed to confront her brother's murderer directly.
Roy Thomas Jaggers wanted to live so bad. He endured and took everything you did to him. And when you kicked him off the cliff, he still ran to make sure that he fought every moment for his life until you shot him in the back like a coward you are. The only permanent thing in life is death. And you chose to end my innocent brother's life for absolutely no reason other than for your own enjoyment. All I can do now is hope and pray that your last day of freedom was the day you took my brother's.
Both Heather Pate and Kevin Dent took plea deals. The couple will serve their lives in prison, although Heather has a possibility of parole after 20 years and Kevin after 10 years served. As for Brad Maine, he stood trial, trying to defend himself. That's when the public finally learned the reason behind his cruelty and excessive violence. He himself had suffered domestic violence and abuse when he was a little kid. But while childhood trauma may have played a role in who he turned out to be, it in no way explains the atrocious acts that he committed that day. He also didn't take the chance to atone for his crime. Instead, he continued shifting the blame to the couple who allegedly exploited his past to get him to do their dirty work. He even claimed that Kevin Dent pushed him to torture and murder the victim, with Heather holding the shotgun in her hands. However, the overwhelming evidence exposed each of his claims to be nothing but lies. Brad Maine was given the maximum sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole. We would like to express our sincere condolences to the family and friends of Roy Jaggers.